Welcome to episode 105 of the FlameFlash.net podcast. I'm your resident FlameFlash, slightly less hairy than before, and we're going to get started right with the Raptor Report. So, clearly, the kids are already starting to sneak in some extra gaming, but we're going to hop right to Wii Sports Resort. So I mixed up my Wii usage to see if I could effectively exercise with something other than Wii Fit. Wii Sports Resort didn't really fit the bill. It's not strenuous enough at all. I don't know, maybe if I did some kind of a Wii Sports batting crazy thing, it would work, but so far, not so much. It was satisfying, though, on my usual morning workout routine to instead also play with the oldest daughter. And then eventually, little mister woke up and came down and joined us well. I've also found that League of Legends, like World of Warcraft, I suck at being melee. Now, I'm not being kind to myself, but I do need to take a step back and think that's the first darn time I've ever been another character other than support. And so maybe it's just finding the right melee character. Red Flare, for an early birthday present, grabbed the starter edition $5 card, which gave me Master Wii or Master U, some guy with funky goggles on his face and swords. So I tried him out. I don't think he's for me. Lux is a disciplined priest, no problem. But this Master Wu Yi guy that meditates and attacks heavily, not so much. I know I'm doing itemization wrong still. I just know it. So maybe that's part of my problem. But I'm not quite sure how to improve my itemization either. I just go for what looks decent at the time. Luigi's Mansion is as satisfying as ever. I'm not sure how far I got last week, but I've beat the first mansion in total, and the multiplayer's good. I like the multiplayer. Went online, played a little there, and all is good. So, Raptor is reporting that I played 23 hours this week. Yeah, no, not so much. Part of that is because, say, the oldest son's Lego Harry Potter game shows up since it's on Xbox. I did get to play The Sims 3, and there's a light segue to one of the news articles since we're getting dragons near the end of this month, but we'll get to that in a moment. World of Warcraft saw the most play this week, as usual, but heavy into scenarios. We actually sat down as a family last weekend and enjoyed some scenarios. Red Flare, the oldest, and I, and me. What's unfortunate is that the oldest daughter currently doesn't have a level 90 character, so she can't join in the scenario fun quite yet. It's one of my light goals of this summer to see if she and I can't power up and through. To have both of them at level cap would be pretty cool. Very cool, actually. So, Magic the Gathering. Tuesday was absolutely horrible, temperature-wise. And amusingly enough, the local game shop that I play at had a free AC night. Well, took advantage of that. And enjoyed it. Kind of. Got my butt kicked, heavily. It's really weird because I retooled all my decks post-Dragon Maze, and I'm getting hammered with, say, really bad hands or bad luck with how my deck ends up. For instance, in the black-white extortion deck, I'm getting smacked around by getting too much land. That shouldn't be happening. I just don't get it. Against, say, a mill deck in this current standard iteration, that'd be great. Oh, I just keep hitting mana. I'm sorry, you don't get to mill me. But an extortion deck isn't going to stand up against a mill deck anyway, because I need a lot of my extorters out, and the mill deck is either going to kill them off with some smite-like spells, or beat my deck down faster than I can extort them. So life doesn't really matter there. Life totals. Let's see, what other decks? Oh, well, my werewolf deck finally seems to be shaping up. But again, I'm getting hosed with not getting the right cards. Really bad luck recently. That's a really short Raptor report. I also spent quite a bit of time, of course, figuring out how to tweak my new decks, or my new old decks, but it was good. I enjoyed. So, The Sims 3 Dragon Valley. Raptor Report, we'll set that aside. Sims 3 Dragon Valley. I really hope we're using the pet mechanics, because otherwise these are going to be really lame. I just fear it. Rift is going free to play as of June 12th. Maybe I'll give it another shot. Maybe. It felt so much like WoW that I just kept saying to myself, why aren't I playing WoW? So I really don't see how that's going to change. In other gaming tidbits, it's been a drought because we're getting ready for E3, but there have been a few good gaming tidbits, like EA is not actively developing Wii U games. Sorry, Wii U. I think Wii U is a phenomenal system. It's perfect for my family size. Supports 5 players simultaneously. Awesome. But right now I don't feel like it has that draw, that pull, that brought it into the living rooms of so many other people. Just don't see it at all. It's a lot like how the 3DS did, though, on its launch. So I'm really hopeful that the Wii U will recover, and recover quickly. Also in EA news, oddly enough, they're dropping the online pass. Now, this is that stupid DRM copyright garbage that once you open your case, you enter the little code, and then you lock in some online features or access to said online features. Well, they're doing away with that, and I approve. Hopefully that means others will start following EA's footsteps. Now, on the show notes are going to be a YouTube link for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I would like somebody to, if you're following along, just pause for a moment, go look at the show notes, and enjoy. Alright. So hopefully you paused, and now you've seen it. It's one of the first television shows that I've been interested in, perhaps either, one, buying on iTunes so we just get new episodes as they come in, or two, try to figure out how to tape it. Awesome. From the trailer, which, granted, is probably heavily borrowed, from Avengers, it looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Life commentary. Two little tidbits. I'm going to skip to the bottom of the show notes. Bitcoin exchange crackdown. So there's some unfortunate fellow in Iowa that saw a grand opportunity to be a currency exchange guy for Bitcoin. But he also just got shut down by the feds for operating said business without following all the rules and regulations regarding it. But the federal government doesn't like that. We're untethering the dollar from the country. Bitcoin could very well, or something like it, be what takes us out, flies us out. Yeah. But I find it funny. I feel sorry for this guy, but I find it funny that the government seems so threatened by the idea. Making up garbage like, oh, well, Bitcoin's going to be used for trafficking drugs. Doesn't real money get used for that? Doesn't the physical dollar get used for that? I just... Well, a waitress, before I nod off, was fired for a Facebook post at Chili's. Chili's, you're in the right. People, before you angrily write in to podcast@flameflash.net, think about this. Anything you post online, be it a podcast, or a tweet, or your Facebook post, regardless of the security settings and privacy settings you have in place right now, then if you can't put it up on a billboard, you shouldn't say it. It's really hard to be anonymous online. Extremely hard to be anonymous online. But it's doable. Part of how to do it is to not make stupid mistakes like that. I mean, I'm not fully. I know somebody can probably figure out who the heck I am fairly quickly if they're savvy enough. That is not a challenge. I acknowledge it. But if you're not comfortable with, say, in this gal's case, being their server, tell a supervisor. I'm going through personal issues right now, and I know I won't do my best if I'm going to have to serve table X. Boom! I mean, there are going to be extenuating circumstances there, but at least you're trying something that seems a bit less intrusive. But This is also why I don't talk about work at all here. Work being off limits so I can continue to put food on my family. It's just, it's common sense. If you didn't hear me, it's common sense. Watching the little green bar not bounce when I say something. Better speak up. I just hope that gal has learned an expensive lesson and returns soon. But in wishing her luck, I should probably head on to bed, as this dad is going on a field trip with his youngling tomorrow. And that youngling is greatly looking forward to it. So, I'm FlameFlash. Find me. Raptor.com/FlameFlash. Podcast at FlameFlash.net. Or just at FlameFlash on Twitter. Find me. Let's talk. Episode 105 is signing out.